What's going on, guys? One of the first videos we thought we'd do is on the bikes we ride. So here I've got my mountain bike. This is the Trek Excalibur 9. It's an aluminum hardtail, and it's the mountain bike that I use most often. This is the fork. It is a RockShox Judy silver fork. It's a basic RockShox air suspension fork. You'll fill it up over there, and you've got your lockout, which is actuated right here with your thumb. Very convenient for road and I guess off-road on the flat trails. I've been using that, and you'll see me use it later on. That's pretty much the front. In terms of brakes, you've got your standard Shimano brakes. These are pretty powerful. The brakes aren't part of a group set. Hydraulic disc, right? You don't have any names, no DR, XD, none of that. But they're very powerful, and they work pretty well. One more thing for the front here. You've got your SLX shifter, shift front, shift back. That's pretty versatile. Oh, and also your grips. These are pretty grippy. I wear gloves for safety, but there's no need if you just like the feel of the grips, which I definitely do. 80mm stem, pretty long, but it is a cross-country bike, and you've got adjustability on the headset here. 3 spacers, I'm one down. I wouldn't really slam it on a mountain bike, but if you're trying to go fast, if you're trying to race, this bike does it for you. You can push that down. So the frame itself, it is called the Trek Gold Alpha aluminum frame. I think this is their best aluminum, at least for mountain bikes. It feels pretty light. I don't know the number on paper, but it never feels lagging out on the road, even on trails. The saddle is the Arvada comp saddle. It's a basic saddle. It's not too comfortable, but with bib shorts, which is what I'm wearing, it does the job. Down to the cranks here, stock Shimano, just like the hydraulic disc brakes and the levers. And then the pedals, these are my own. This bike doesn't come with pedals, so I've put Crank Brothers Stamp 2 pedals. I like running flats on a mountain bike. Allows me to do some crazy stuff without fearing being locked into the bike. Alright, and finally you've got your drivetrain. So there's an SLX rear cassette, 12 speed, 52 tooth cog to 10. So great rear range. A Shadow Dior exterior derailleur with a clutch. This thing right here, sorry for the twigs. So when you engage this thing, it's a little bit harder to pull this thing back, and that makes sure that you can get your chain tension high, none of that chain slap when you're doing jumps and stuff. Definitely come in handy. The hubs on these wheels, they're boost hubs. Now Trek, it's got some special technology. It helps with handling. You've got boost hubs in the front and the back, and they advertise it on the frame as well. I think it widens the stays, I'm not too sure, but definitely an added feature that Trek has going for this bike. But all in all, Trek Excalibur 9, at least on paper, it's a really great bike. Nothing too much I don't like about this bike, so let's get to riding it. So this bike on the road feels pretty stiff. It doesn't have that spongy back like you would with most full suspension mountain bikes, and also you've got that lockout in the front that helps to make sure the front isn't bobbing up and down. Oof, speed breaker. Right, so anyways, I've also made a modification to the front. Front tire is a Schwalbe G1 Ultrabite. It's a pretty aggressive gravel tire, and I think it's 38mm, and that's about as low as these rims are willing to go before the bead won't seat. But it's plenty for a hardtail. Now I initially bought this bike to use on the road, and it feels pretty great. It did the job for a while. And soon I'll review my other Trek bike, which is well, you'll see. But at least on the road, this thing is great. So now it's time for the real test. How exactly is this bike out on XC trails? Now, this is a pretty basic trail. There's nothing much to it. Gets a bit gnarly at the end. But, I mean, out in the forest, this is where this bike is going to shine. Like I said, it's pretty fast. It rolls fast on decently flat ground, and as you can see, I've actually got it out of lockout. I've got a hand on here just so that I don't fall. But yeah, the suspension is really working. There's no need for a rear suspension if you're only riding trails like these. Right now it's a bit sandy, and my thick 2.2-inch back tire really helps with that. But I'm still maintaining speed through my thinner front tire. So I definitely recommend that if you're getting a bike like this, make sure to change out that front tire if you see yourself using it on flatter trails on the road. So we're just coming to this beautiful section. Like I said, I'm in the forest by the beach in Alibag. So it's really a nice ride. They've got these tracks. I don't want to go there. That's sandy. But into this forest, it's a really nice ride. Check this out. Super cool. But my final thoughts on the bike. I haven't really said anything bad about it. I think one thing definitely, you can hear these cables rattling. If you want a peaceful ride, it's maybe not the best, but I don't really hear it anymore. I've been on this bike for a while. It's not that big of a deal. So at its price, about $1,15,000, I think everything you get on this bike is pretty standard. The drivetrain is definitely one of the better parts of this bike. It's crisp shifting, and for the price, it's really great. The frame as well, this thing is a tank. It's gonna last you a really long time. Just make sure you take care of it. Right now my bike isn't the cleanest because I haven't been using it that much. The suspension, it could definitely be a little bit better. I've seen other bikes at this price point with Fox float 32s, something like that. But it is an air suspension fork. It's got the lockout, which is great for a hardtail. The weight of this bike, so without the pedals in this size, medium large, it's about 13.5 kilos, maybe 13. It doesn't feel as heavy as it sounds. Definitely when you're mountain biking, I guess on the road, you'll see that you can't really get up to speed as fast, sprinting and stuff. But then again, it is a hardtail. Yeah, all in all, very comfortable bike. Long nose saddle, wide bars, looks about 720 something like that, and a short stem, so handling is great. Trek Excalibur 9, definitely recommend it as an entry-level hardtail, and that's my bike.